Hello, my name is Jimbo Ivy, and on behalf of the City of Corvallis Parks and Recreation Department, I'd like to welcome you to Majesticpiece Theater. Over the last month, we have heard the word unprecedented enough times to last us for the rest of our lives. But this situation truly is. We've canceled dozens of performances, halted creative endeavors that have been in the works for well over a year, and generally slammed the brakes on all local performance art in our country in the name of saving lives. And the sacrifice is real, in terms of dollars, in terms of hours, and in terms of passions put on hold. But we are theater folks, and as we say, the show must go on. Even before we began canceling everything in the whole world, people in our community had already leapt into the Google sphere to, in the words of Jeff Goldblum, find a way. And they have, with Majesticpiece Theater, which will endeavor to bring a live stream performance to our community each week until we are able to trod the boards of the Majestic once more. For information on how to become involved with this digital Dionysian delight, visit majestic.org or our Facebook. During these speeches, I always say at some point that you, the patrons, the donors, the actors, the technicians, and musicians are majestic, meaning that the art that we render is born of your dedication and talent. Tonight, you will see that in perhaps its purest form with this performance of William Shakespeare's Cymbeline, adapted and directed by John Carone. The efforts of many staff and volunteers have went into tonight's performance, but I'd like to thank Rachel Kohler and Chad Howard for being the driving forces to this testament to the fact that when presented with literally any problem, even a global catastrophe, theater folks will make it work. So at this time, we please ask you turn off all cell phones, not really, and please refrain from any flash photography of this performance, not that we'd notice. In the unlikely event of an additional emergency, please take a moment to locate the exit nearest to you. Tonight's performance will not be having an intermission. Thank you for your support of the Majestic Theater, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Once upon a time, sorry, wrong show. Actually, that was my line in Into the Woods. Hello, I am Michael Wren, and I will be your designated narrator for this production of William Shakespeare's Cymbeline. I will be describing the various locations, the items on stage, and how awesome it would be if you were seeing it after buying a ticket. And also popcorn and those little chocolate truffles. We open in the palace of King Cymbeline of Britain. But since there are other locations in the play, it would probably be simply indicated by a giant throne with the king sitting mournfully in it with really solemn music. Then all the actors come in to explain what's going on in a dramatic prelude.
You do not meet a man but frowns. Our bloods no more obey the heavens than our courtiers still seem as does the king.
He had 2 sons. Mark it. The eldest of them at 3 years old, in the swathing clothes the other from their nursery were stolen.
And to this hour no guess in knowledge which way they went some 20 years ago.
His daughter, and the heir of's kingdom, whom he purposed to his wife's sole son, a widow that late he married, hath referred herself unto a poor but worthy gentleman.
She's wedded, her husband banished, she imprisoned. All is outward sorrow, though I think the king be touched at very heart.
So is the queen, that most desired the match.
But not a courtier, although they wear their faces to the bent of the king's looks, hath a heart that is not glad at the thing they scowl at.
And why so? He that hath missed the princess is a thing too bad for bad report.
And he that hath her, he that hath lost her, is a creature such as to seek through the regions of the earth for one is like. There would be something failing in him that should compare to Posthumus.
He served with glory and admired success, so gained the suredition Leonatus.
To his mistress, for whom he's now banished, her own price proclaims how she esteemed him and his virtue.
We start our tale with Posthumus bidding adieu to Imogen, while her mother-in-law, the queen, tries to avoid being as evil as she clearly is.
No, be assured you shall not find me, daughter, after the slander of most stepmothers, evil-eyed unto you. You're my prisoner, but your jailers shall deliver you the keys that lock up your restraint. For you, Posthumus, soon as I can win the offended king, I will be known as your advocate.
Please, your highness, I will from hence today.
Be brief, I pray you. If the king come, I shall incur I know not how much of his displeasure. Yet I'll move him to walk this way. I never do him wrong, but he does buy my injuries to be friends. Pays dear for my offenses.
Dissembling courtesy. How fine this tyrant can tickle where she wounds. My dearest husband, I something fear my father's wrath, but nothing. Always reserved my holy duty, what his rage can do on me. You must be gone.
Oh, lady, weep no more, lest I give cause to be suspected of more tenderness than doth become a man. I will remain the loyalest husband that did e'er apply troth. My residence in Rome at one Philario is known but by letter. Thither write, my queen.
This diamond was my mother's. Take it, heart, but keep it till you woo another wife, when Imogen is dead.
How? Another? You gentle gods, give me but this I have. It is the manacle of love. I'll place it upon the fairest prisoner.
Oh, the gods. When shall we see again?
Alack, the king.
Thou basest thing, avoid, hence from my sight. If after this command thou fraud the court with thy unworthiness, thou art poison to my blood.
The gods protect you, and bless the good remainders of your court. I am gone.
Oh, disloyal thing, that thou shouldst repair my youth, thou heapst the year's age on me.
I beseech you, sir, harm not yourself with your vexation. It is your fault I have loved Posthumus. You bred him as my playfellow, and he is a man worth any woman, overbuys me almost by the sum he pays.
Thou foolish thing, they were again together. You have done naught after our command. Away with her and pen her up.
Beseech your patience. Peace.
Nay, let her languish a drop of blood a day, and being aged, die of this folly.
Fie, you must give way. Here is your servant. How now, sir? What news?
My lord, your son drew on my master.
No harm, I trust, is done.
There might have been, but that my master rather played than fought, and had no help of anger. They were parted by gentlemen at hand.
I'm very glad on it.
To draw upon an exile? How brave, sir. Pisanio, why came you from your master?
On his command. He would not suffer me to bring him to the haven, left these notes of what commands I should be subject to, when it pleased you to employ me.
When shall we hear from him?
Be assured, madam, at his next vantage.
Well, this fellow hath been your faithful servant. I dare lay mine honor he will remain so.
I humbly thank your highness.
Cloten, my son, I would advise you to shift a shirt. The violence of action hath made you reek as the sacrifice.
If my shirt were bloody, then to shift it. Have I hurt him?
No. If faith, not so much of his patience.
The villain would not stand me.
No, but he fled forward still, at your face.
I would they had not come between us.
So would I, till you had measured how long a fool you were upon the ground.
And that she should love this fellow and refuse me?
She shines not upon fools, lest the reflection should hurt her.
Come, I'll to my chamber. Would there had been some hurt done.
I wish not so, unless it had been the fall of an ass, which is no great hurt.
You'll go with us?
I'll attend your lordship.
That such a crafty devil as is his mother should yield the world this ass? A woman that bears all down with her brain, and this her son cannot take 2 from 20 for his heart and leave 18. Alas, poor princess, that divine Imogen, the heavens hold firm the walls of thy dear honor. Keep unshaked that temple, thy fair mind, that thou mayst stand to enjoy thy banished lord and this great land.
And with that rhyming couplet, we head to Rome. Maybe we see a projection of some nice ruins, or a lot of wine bottles, or a 20-foot-high solid gold statue of Julius Caesar that looks a little like the director. Or whatever fits the budget. Posthumus' soon-to-be host, Tholario, comes in with his creepy friend, Iachimo.
But how comes it Posthumus is to sojourn with you? How creeps acquaintance?
His father and I were soldiers together, to whom I have been often bound for no less than my life. Let him be so entertained amongst you as suits, with gentlemen of your knowing, to stranger of his quality.
Oh, believe it, sir. I have seen him in Britain. He was then of a crescent note, expected to prove so worthy as since he hath been allowed the name of.
You speak of him when he was less furnished than now. He is with that which makes him both within and without and within.
This matter of marrying his king's daughter, wherein he must be weighed rather by her value than his own, words him, I doubt not, a great deal from the matter.
I beseech you, be better known to this gentleman, whom I commend to you as a noble friend of mine. How worthy he is, I will leave you to appear hereafter, rather than story him in his own hearing.
Oh, sir, we have known together.
What's going on here?
Good sir Posthumus.
Since when I've been a debtor to you for courtesies, which I will ever be able to pay and yet pay still.
Oh, sir, you orate my poor kindness. I was glad I did atone my countryman and you. It had been pity you should have been put together with so mortal a purpose as then each bore upon importance of so slight and trivial a nature.
By your pardon, sir, I was then a young traveler, but upon my mended judgment, if I offended not to say, it is mended. My quarrel was not altogether slight.
Can we, with manners, ask what was the difference?
Oh, safely, I think. 'Twas a contention in public, where each of us fell in praise of our mistresses. This gentleman at that time vouching, and upon warrant of bloody affirmation, is to be more fair, virtuous, wise, chaste, constant, qualified, and less attemptable than any of the rarest of our ladies.
She holds her virtue still, and I my mind.
Oh, you must not so far prefer her for ours of Italy. If she went before others I have seen, as that diamond of yours outlustres many I have beheld, I could not but believe she excelled many. But I have not seen the most precious diamond that is, nor you, the lady.
I praised her as I rated her, so do I my stone.
What do you esteem it at?
More than the world enjoys.
Either your unparagoned mistress is dead, or she's outprized by a trifle.
You're mistaken. The one may be sold or given if there were wealth enough for the purchase or merit for the gift. The other is not a thing for sale, and only the gift of the gods.
Which the gods have given you?
Which by their graces I will keep.
Gentlemen, enough of this. It came in too suddenly. Let it die as it was born, and I pray you, be better acquainted.
You may wear her and title yours, but you know, strange foul light upon neighboring ponds. Your ring may be stolen too, so your brace of unprizable estimations. The one is but frail, and the other casual. A cunning thief or a that-way accomplished courtier would hazard the winning of both the first and last.
Your Italy contains none so accomplished a courtier to convince the honor of my mistress.
With 5 times so much conversation, I should get ground of your fair mistress, make her go back even to the yielding, had I admittance and opportunity to friend.
No.
I will lay you 10,000 ducats to your ring, that commend me to the court where your lady is, with no more advantage than the opportunity of a second conference, and I will bring from thence that honor of hers which you imagine so reserved.
I will wage against your gold to it. My reign I hold dear as my finger, 'tis part of it.
Oh, you're afraid, and therein the wiser.
Will? I shall but lend my diamond till your return. Let there be covenants drawn between us. My mistress exceeds in goodness the hugeness of your unworthy thinking. I dare you to take this here match. Here's my ring.
By the gods, it is one. Your hand a covenant, and straightway for Britain, lest the bargain should catch cold and starve.
Agreed.
And now back to Cymbeline's palace in the queen's chamber, which is decorated in a very evil manner, as you can clearly see. With the queen is Dr. Cornelius, who was saved from being cut from the show by the skin of his teeth.
Now, Master Doctor, have you brought those drugs?
Pleaseth your highness, I. Here they are. But, madam, I beseech your grace, wherefore have you commanded of me these most poisonous compounds, which are the movers of a languishing death, but though slow, deadly?
I wonder, Doctor, thou asked me such a question. Have I not been thy pupil, having thus far proceeded, and then, unless thou thinkest me devilish, it's not meet that I did amplify my judgment in other conclusions. I will try the forces of these thy compounds on such creatures as we count not worth the hanging, but none human, to try the vigor of them and apply layman's to their act, and by them gather their several virtues and effects.
Your highness shall from this practice but make hard your heart. Besides, the seeing these effects will be both noisome and infectious.
Oh, content thee. Doctor, your service for this time is ended. Take your way.
I humbly take my leave. I do not like her. She to think she has strange lingering poisons. I do know her spirit, and will not trust one of her malice with a drug of such damned nature. those she has will stupefy and dull the sense a while. No danger in what show of death it makes, more than the locking up the spirits a time, to be more fresh, reviving. She is fooled with a most false effect, and I the truer, so to be false with her.
Ha! Here comes a flattering rascal. Upon him will I first work, for he's for his master, an enemy to my son. How now, Pisanio? Weeps Imogen still? Dost thou think in time she will not quench and let instructions enter where folly now possesses? Do thou work, when thou shalt bring me word she loves my son. I'll tell thee on the instant thou art then as great as is thy master.
The queen evilly, but casually, drops the box as if by accident, and Pisanio, being a mere servant, feels obliged to pick it up for her.
Thou takest up, thou know'st not what, but take it for thy labor. It is a thing I made, that which hath the king 5 times redeemed from death. I prithee take it. It is an earnest of a further good that I mean to thee. Tell thy mistress how the case stands with her. Do it as from thyself. A sly and constant knave, not to be shaked. I have given him that which, if he takes, shall quite unpeople her of leisures for her sweet, and which she after, except she bend her humor, shall be assured the taste of two. Fare thee well, thee, Pisanio. Think on my words.
And shall do. But when to my good lord I prove untrue, I'll choke myself. That's all I'll do for you.
Meanwhile, oh, as a narrator, I love saying that. Meanwhile...
Father cruel, and a stepdame false. A foolish suitor to a wedded lady that hath her husband banished. Oh, that husband. My supreme crown of grief, and those repeated vexations of it. Had I been thief stolen as my 2 brothers, happy. Who may this be? Fie.
Madam, a noble gentleman of Rome comes from my lord with letters.
The worthy Leonatus is in safety and greets your highness dearly.
Thanks, good sir. You're kindly welcome.
All of her that is out of door most rich. If she be furnished with a mind so rare, she is alone the phoenix bird, and I have lost the wager. Boldness, be my friend.
He is one of the noblest note, to whose kindnesses I am most infinitely tied. Reflect upon him accordingly as you value your trust, Leonatus. So far I read aloud, but even the very middle of my heart is warmed by the rest, and takes it thankfully. You are as welcome, worthy sir, as I have words to bid you, and shall find it so in all that I can do.
Oh, thanks, madam. Well.
Continues well, my lord. His health, beseech you.
Well, madam.
Is he disposed to mirth? I hope he is.
Oh, exceeding pleasant. None a stranger there, so merry and so gamesome. He is called the Britain Reveller.
When he was here, he did incline to sadness, and oft times not knowing why.
I never saw him sad. Your lord, I mean. Laughs from free lungs, cry, "Oh, can my sires hold to think that man who knows what woman is, yea, what she cannot choose but must be, will his free hours language for assured bondage?"
Will my lord say so?
Aye, madam, with his eyes in flood with laughter. It is a recreation to be by and hear him mock the others. But heavens knows, some men are much to blame.
Not he, I hope.
Not he, but yet heaven's bounty towards him might be used more thankfully. In himself 'tis much, in you, which I count his beyond all talents, whilst I am bound to wonder, I am bound to pity too.
What do you pity, sir?
Oh, 2 creatures heartily.
Am I one, sir? You look on me, what wreck discern you in me deserves your pity?
That others do. I was about to say, enjoy your But it is an office of the gods to venge it, not mine to speak on't.
You do seem to know something of me, or what concerns me. Pray you, what both you spur and stop, discover to me.
Had I this cheek to bathe my lips upon, this hand whose every touch would force the fearless soul to the oath of loyalty, should I damned then slave her with lips as common as the stairs that mount the Capitol, why, it were fit that all the plagues of hell should at one time encounter such revolt.
My lord, I fear, has forgot Britain.
And himself, not I, inclined to this intelligence, pronounced the beggary of his change, but 'tis your graces that pray from mutest conscience to my tongue charms this report out.
Let me hear no more.
Oh, dearest soul, your cause doth strike my heart with pity that doth make me sick. A lady so fair and fastened to an empery would make the greatest king double. Be revenged. Or she that bore you was no queen, and you recoil from your great stock.
Revenged? How should I be revenged? If this be true, as I have such a heart that both mine ears must not in haste abuse, if it be true, how should I be revenged?
Should he make me live like Diana's priest betwixt cold sheets, whilst he is vaulting variable ramps in your despite upon your purse? Revenge it! I dedicate myself to your sweet pleasure, more noble than that renegade to your bed, and will continue fast to your affection. Let me my service tender on your lips.
Away! I do condemn mine ears that have so long attended thee. If thou wert honorable, thou wouldst have told this tale for virtue, not for such an end thou seekest, as base, as strange. Thou wrongst a gentleman, who is as far from thy report as thou from honor, and solicitest here a lady that disdains thee and the devil alike. What ho, Pisanio! The king my father shall be made acquainted of thy assault. What ho, Pisanio!
Oh, happy Leonatus, I may say, the credit that thy lady hath of thee deserves thy trust, and thy most perfect goodness her assured credit. Give me pardon, he sits mongst men like a descended god. He hath a kind of honor sets him off more than a mortal seeming. Be not angry. I have spoke this to know if your affiance were deeply rooted, and shall make your lord, that which he is, new o'er.
You make amends.
My humble thanks. I had almost forgot to entreat your grace, but in a small request. Some dozen Romans of us, and your lord, the best feather of our wing, have mingled sums to buy a present for the emperor, and I am something curious, being strange, to have them in safe stowage. May it please you to take them in protection?
Willingly, and pawn mine honor for their safety. Since my lord hath interest in them, I will keep them in my bedchamber.
They are in a trunk, attended by my men. I will make bold to send them to you only for this night. I must aboard tomorrow. If you please to greet your lord with writing, do it tonight. I have outstood my time, which is material to the tender of our present.
I will write. Send your trunk to me. It shall be safe kept and truly yielded you. You're very welcome.
That night, in Imogen's chamber, let us imagine a giant four-poster bed. Just imagine it, because in real life, we're not having a giant set piece that we use once during the show and then takes up space backstage the rest of the time. Also present is Giacomo's trunk, which is just big enough to fit an Italian inside.
I have read 3 hours then. Mine eyes are weak. Fold down the leaf here where I've left. To bed. To your protection I commend me, gods. From fairies and the tempters of the night guard me. Beseech ye.
But when Imogen falls asleep, Giacomo himself comes out of the trunk to start the creepiest scene in the Shakespeare canon.
Oh, how bravely thou becomest thy bed, fresh lily, and whiter than the sheets. but my design to note the chamber. I will write it all down, such and such pictures, there are windows, such the adornment of a bed, such and such, the heiress, figures, and the contents of the story.
And then he takes off her bracelet while she's sleeping. And I'm not very comfortable with this.
As slippery as the Gordian knot was hard, 'tis mine. And this will witness outwardly as strongly as the conscience does within to the maddening of her lord. On her left breast, a mole sink-spotted like the crimson drops in the bottom of a cowslip. No more. To what end? To the trunk again, and shut the spring of it. Swift, swift, you dragons of the night, that dawning may bear the raven's eye. I lodge in fear. Though this is a heavenly angel, hell is here.
So Iachimo creepily goes back into the trunk, and I feel gross. Cut to the next morning, right outside Imogen's door.
Winning will put any man into courage. If I could get this foolish Imogen, I should have gold enough. It's almost morning's not?
Day, my lord.
If she be up, I'll speak with her. If not, let her lie still and dream. By your leave, ho!
Who's there that knocks?
A gentleman.
No more.
Yes, and a gentlewoman's son.
That's more than some whose tailors are as dear as yours can justly boast of. What's your lordship's pleasure?
Good morrow, fairest. Sister, your sweet hand.
Good morrow, sir. You lay out too much pains for purchasing but trouble. The thanks I give is telling you that I am poor of thanks and scarce can spare them.
Still, I swear I love you.
If you but said so, 'twere as deep with me. If you swear still, your recompense is still that I regard it not.
This is no answer.
But that you shall not say I yield, being silent, I would not speak. I pray you, spare me. Faith, I shall unfold equal discourtesy to your best kindness. One of your great knowing should learn, being taught, forbearance.
To leave you in my madness, 'twere my sin, I will not.
Fools are not mad folks.
Do you call me a fool?
As I am mad, I do. If you'll be patient, I'll be no more mad. That cures us both. I am much sorry, sir. You put me to forget a lady's manners by being so verbal. And learn now, for all that I, which know my heart, do here pronounce by the very truth of it, I care not for you, and am so near the lack of charity to accuse myself, I hate you, which I had rather you felt than makes me boast.
You sin against obedience which you owe your father, for the contract you pretend with that base wretch. One bred of alms and fostered with cold dishes, with scraps of the court, it is no contract, none. Yet you are curbed from that enlargement by the consequence of the crown, and must not soil the precious note of it.
Profane fellow! Wert thou the son of Jupiter, and no more but what thou art besides, thou wert too base to be his groom.
The south fog rot him.
He can never meet more mischance than come to be but named of thee. His meanest garment that ever hath but clipped his body is dearer in my respect than all the hairs above thee, were they all made such men. How now, Bassanio?
His garment? Now the devil, his garment.
Search for a jewel that too casually hath left mine arm. It was thy master's. Shrew me if I would lose it for a revenue of any kings in Europe. I do think I saw it this morning. Confident I am last night 'twas on my arm, I kissed it. I hope it be not gone to tell my lord that I kiss aught but he.
'Twill not be lost.
I hope so. Go and search.
You have abused me, his meanest garment.
Aye, I said so, sir. If you will make it an action, call witness to it.
I will inform your father.
Your mother, too. She's my good lady, and will conceive, I hope, but the worst of me. So I leave you, sir, to the worst of discontent.
I'll be revenged, his meanest garment. Well.
And so, since Shakespeare did not himself invent the phrase, oh, snap, we continue instead back to Rome, where Posthumus still resides with Philario.
Hear it not, sir. I would I were so sure to win the king as I am bold, her honor will remain hers.
What means do you make to him?
Not any, but abide the change of time. Quake in the present winter state and wish that warmer days would come. In these seared hopes I barely gratify your love. They failing, I must die much your debtor.
Your very goodness and your company o'erpays all I can do. See, Iachimo.
I hope the briefness of your answer may the speediness of your return.
Oh, your lady is one of the fairest that I have looked upon.
Sparkles the stone as it was wont, or is it not too dull for your good wearing?
If I had lost it, I should have lost the worth of it in gold. I'll make a journey twice as far to enjoy a second night of such sweet shortness, which was mine in Britain. For the ring is won.
The stone's too hard to come by.
Oh, not a whit, your lady being so easy.
Make not, sir, your loss your sport. I hope you know that we must not continue friends.
Oh, good sir, we must, if you keep your covenant. Had I not brought the knowledge of your mistress home, I grant we were to question further, but I now profess myself the winner of her honor, together with your ring. First, her bedchamber, where I confess I slept not. It was hanged with tapestry of silk and silver, the story proud Cleopatra when she met her Roman.
This is true. And this you might have heard of here by me or by some other.
The chimney is south the chamber, and the chimney piece chased Diane bathing. Never saw I figures so likely to report themselves.
Let it be granted you have seen all this, and praise be given to your remembrance. The description of what is in her chamber, nothing saves the wager you have laid.
Well, then, if you can, be pale. I beg but to leave to air this jewel, see? And now 'tis up again. It
Joe.
must be married to that your diamond. I'll keep them.
Once more, let me behold it.
Sir, I thank her that she stripped it from her arm. I see her yet. Her pretty action did outsell her gift, and yet enriched it too. She gave it to me and said she prized it. Once.
Maybe she plucked it off to send to me.
Oh, she wrote so to you, doth she?
Render me some corporal sign about her, more evident than this, for this was stolen. This is not strong enough to be believed of one persuaded well of.
If you seek for further satisfying, under her breast, worthy the pressing, lies a mole, right proud of that most delicate lodging. Remember the stain upon her?
Oh, and it doth confirm another stain as big as Helgen holds where there no more but it.
Will you hear more?
Spare your arithmetic. Never count the turns one to end a million.
I'll be sworn.
No swearing. If you will swear that you have done as you lie, oh, and I will kill thee if thou dost deny thou hast made me cuckold.
I'll deny nothing.
Oh, that I had her here to tear her limb meal. I will go there and I'll do it the court before her father. I'll do something.
Oh, quite beside the government of patience. You have won. Let's follow him and pervert the present wrath he hath against himself.
With all my heart.
Now the second creepiest part of the play, where Posthumus rails against all women everywhere. Well, perhaps it can be mitigated by having the actor shown to be drinking a lot of bad wine to drown his sorrows, or maybe in a modernization, he can be posting this on an internet forum while wearing a fedora. Or not. Let's get through this bit.
Is there no way for men to be but women must be half workers? Oh, vengeance! Vengeance! Me and my lawful pleasure she restrained and prayed me oft forbearance. did it with a prudency so rosy that I thought her as chaste as unsunned snow. Could I find out more the woman's part in me? For there's no motion that tends to vice in man, but I affirm it is the woman's part. For even to vice, they're not constant, but changing still. One vice, but 1 minute cold, for one not so half as old as that. Thou I'll write against them, detest them, curse them. Yet 'tis greater skill in a true hate to pray they have their will. The very devils cannot plague them better.
Still with us? Oh, good. Just in time for it to get worse. We return to Cymbeline's castle, where Pisanio receives a letter from the furious Posthumus.
Ow! Of adultery? Wherefore you write not what monsters her accuser? Leonatus, O master, what strange infection is fallen into thy ear? What false Italian, poisoned tongue as handed, hath prevailed on thy too ready hearing? Disloyal? No! Thy mind to her is now as low as were thy fortunes. How? That I should murder her? Upon the love and truth and vows which I have made to thy command? How look I, that I should seem to lack humanity as much as this fact comes to?
Do it. The letter that I have sent her by her own command shall give the opportunity.
Damned paper, black as the ink that's on thee. Lo, here she comes.
How now, Pisanio?
Madam, here is a letter from my lord.
Who, thy lord? That is my lord, Leonatus.
Justice and your father's wrath, should he take me in his dominion, could not be so cruel to me as you. Oh, the dearest of creatures, would even renew me with your eyes. Take notice that I am at Milford Haven. What your own love will out of this advise you. Follow. So he wishes you all the happiness that remains, loyal to your vow. Leonatus Posthumus.
Oh, for a horse with wings. Hearest thou, Pisanio? He's at Milford Haven. Read and tell me, how far 'tis thither? Then, true Pisanio, how many score of miles may we well ride twixt hour and hour?
1 score twixt sun and sun. Madam, it's enough for you. And too much, too.
Why, one that rode to his execution, man, could never go so slow. Away, I prithee. Do as I bid thee. There's no more to say. Accessible is none but Milford way.
And now the side plot. A bit of Henry V dropped into our Romeo and Juliet plot. Britain at this time had been conquered by the Roman Empire and had been sending tributes to Rome. But now King Cymbeline has been persuaded by his very obviously evil queen and her jerk son to stop paying and start fighting.
So like you, sir, ambassadors from Rome. The one is Caius Lucius.
A worthy fellow, albeit he comes on angry purpose now. Now say, what would Augustus Caesar with us?
When Julius Caesar was in this Britain and conquered it, thine uncle granted Rome a tribute, yearly 3,000 pounds, which by thee lately is left untendered.
And to kill the marvel shall be so ever.
There be many Caesars, ere such another Julius. Britain is a world by itself, and we will nothing pay for wearing our own noses.
That opportunity, which then they had to take from us, to resume we have again.
Why tribute? Why should we pay tribute? If Caesar can hide the sun from us with a blanket, or put the moon in his pocket, we will pay him tribute for light. Else, sir, no more tribute. Pray you now.
You must know, till the injurious Romans did extort this tribute from us, we were free, for Caesar to put the yoke upon us, which to shake off becomes a warlike people, whom we reckon ourselves to be.
I am sorry, Cymbeline, that I am to pronounce Augustus Caesar, Caesar that hath more kings his servants than thyself domestic officers, thine enemy.
I know your master's pleasure. All that remain is welcome.
I desire conduct over land to Milford Haven. Madam, all joy befall your grace.
He goes hence frowning, but it honors us that we have given him cause.
'Tis all the better. Your valiant Britons have their wishes in it.
Our expectation that it would be thus hath made us forward. But, my gentle queen, where is our daughter? She hath not appeared before the Roman. Call her before us, for we have been too slight in sufferance.
Oh, my lord, when last I went to visit her, she prayed me to excuse her keeping close, whereto constrained by her infirmary, she would do leave unpaid to you.
Her door is locked, not seen of late. Grant heavens that which I fear prove false.
Son, I say follow the king.
That man of hers, Pisanio, her old servant, have not seen these 2 days.
Go, look after Pisanio, thou that standst for Posthumus. He hath a drug of mine. I pray his absence proceed by swallowing that, for he believes it is a thing most precious. But for her, where is she gone? Happily despair has seized her, or winged with fervour of her love, she's flown to her desired Posthumus. Gone she is to death or to dishonour, and my end can make good use of either. She being down, I have the placing of the British crown. Oh, how now, my son?
'Tis certain she is fled. Go in and cheer the king. He rages, none dare come about him.
All the better. May this night forestall him of the coming day.
Meanwhile, somewhere near Milford Haven.
Thou toldst me when we came from horse the place was near at hand. Ne'er longed my mother so to see me first as I have now. Pisanio, man, where is Posthumus? What is in thy mind that makes thee stare thus? Wherefore breaks that sigh? Why tenderest thou that paper to me with a look untender? Why my husband's hand?
Please you, read, and you shall find me wretched man, a thing most disdained of fortune.
Thy mistress Pisanio hath played the strumpet in my bed. The testimonies whereof lie bleeding in me. I speak not out of weak surmises, but from proof as strong as my grief, and as certain as I expect my revenge. That part thou, Pisanio, must act for me. If thy faith be not tainted with the breach of hers, I shall give thee opportunity at Milford Haven. She hath my letter for the purpose, where if fear to strike and to make me certain it is done, thou art the panderer to her dishonor, and equally to me disloyal.
What shall I need to draw my sword? The paper hath cut her throat already. What cheer, madam?
False to his bed. What is it to be false? To lie and watch there, and to think on him? To weep twixt clock and clock, if sleep charge nature, to break it with a fearful dream of him, and cry myself awake? That's false to bed, is it?
Alas, good lady.
Aye, false! Thy conscience witness. Some jay of Italy, whose mother was her painting, hath betrayed him. Poor, I am stale. A garment out of fashion. Men's vows are women's traitors. So Posthumus will lay the leaven on all proper men. I draw the sword on myself. Take it, and hit the innocent mansion of my love, my heart. Fear not, 'tis empty of all things but grief. And thou, Posthumus, thou that didst set up my disobedience against the king my father, and make me put into contempt the suits of all princely fellows, shall hereafter find it is no act of common passage, but a strain of rareness. Prithee, dispatch. The lamb entreats the butcher. Where's thy knife? Thou art too slow to do thy master's bidding when I desire it too.
Oh, gracious lady, since I received command to do this business, I have not slept one wink.
Do it, and to bed then.
I'll wake mine eyeballs blind first.
Wherefore then didst undertake it? Why hast thou abused so many miles with a pretense? This place, mine action and thine own, our horses' labor, the time inviting thee.
But to win time, to lose so bad employment in the which I have considered of a course. Good lady, I thought you would not back again.
Most like bringing me here to kill me.
Not so neither, but if I were as wise as honest, then my purpose would prove well. It cannot be but that my master is abused. Some villain, aye, singular in his art, hath done you both this cursed injury.
Some Roman courtesan.
No, on my life. I'll give but notice you are dead, and send him some bloody sign. You shall be missed at court, and that will confirm it.
My good fellow, what shall I do the where? Where bide thou live? Or in my life, what comfort when I am dead to my husband?
If you'll back to court.
No, court, no father, nor no more ado with Cloten, whose love suit hath been to me as fearful as a siege.
If not at court, then not in Britain you must bide.
Where then? Hath Britain all the sun that shines? Day, night, are they not but in Britain?
I am most glad you think of other place. Now, but to disguise that which to appear itself must not yet be by self-danger. You should tread a course pretty and full of view, yea, haply near the residence of Posthumus, so nigh at least that though his actions are not visible, yet report should render him hourly to your ear as truly as he moves.
Oh, for such means, though peril to my modesty, not death on it, I would adventure.
Well then, here's the point. You must forget to be a woman. Change command into obedience, fear, and niceness, the handmaids of all women, into courage. Ready in gibes, quick-answered, saucy, and as querulous as the weasel.
Nay, be brief. I see into thy end, and am almost a man already.
First, make yourself but like one. For thinking this, I have already fit. 'Tis in my cloak bag. Doublet, hats, hose, all that answer to them, and your means abroad you have rich, and I will never fail beginning nor supplyment.
Thou art all the comfort the gods will diet with me. Prithee, away. There's more to be considered, but will even all that good time will give us. Now away.
Well, madam, we must make short farewell, lest, being missed, I be suspected of your carriage into the court. My noble mistress, here is a box. I had it from the queen. What's in it is precious if you are sick at sea or stomach qualmed at land. A dram of this will drive away distemper. To some shade and fit your manhood. May the gods direct you to the best.
Amen. I thank thee.
And so Shakespeare, having once again dressed a woman up as a man, Pisanio heads back to the palace, where Cloten is being a total Cloten.
I love and hate her, for she's fair and royal, and that she hath all courtly parts more exquisite than lady. Ladies, I love her, therefore, but disdaining me and throwing favors on the low Posthumus slanders so her judgment. That what else rare is choked, and in that point I will conclude to hate her. Nay, indeed, to be revenged upon her, for when fools shall... Who is here? What are you packing, Sarah? Come hither. Ah, you precious pander, villain. Where is thy lady? Is she with Posthumus?
How can she be with him? When was she missed? He's in Rome.
Where is she, sir? Come nearer. No further halting. Satisfy me home. What has become of her?
Oh, my good lord. This paper has the history of my knowledge touching her flight.
Let's see it. I will pursue her even to Augustus's throne.
Or this, or perish. She's far enough, and what he learns by this may prove his travel. not her danger.
Sir, is this letter true?
Sir, as I think.
It is Posthumus's hand, I know it. Sir, if thou wouldst not be a villain, but do me true service, that is, what villainy soever I bid thee do, thou shouldst neither want my means for thy relief, nor my voice for thy preferment.
Well, my good lord.
Give me thy hand. Here is my purse. Hast any of thy late master's garments in thy possession?
I have, my lord, at my lodging, the same suit he wore when he took leave of my lady and mistress.
The first service thou dost me, fetch that suit hither, go. Meet thee at Milford Haven. Even there, thou villain Posthumus, will I kill thee. She said upon a time, the bitterness of it I now belch from my heart, that she held the very garment of Posthumus in more respect than my noble and natural person, together with the adornment of my qualities. With that suit upon my back will I first kill him, he on the ground. To the court I'll knock her back and foot her home again. The lines of my body are as well drawn as his, no less young, more strong, not beneath him in fortune, but above him in birth. Yet she loves him in my despite. She hath despised me rejoicingly, and I'll be merry in my revenge. Bring this apparel to my chamber. That is the second thing that I have commanded thee. The third is that thou wilt be a voluntary mute to my design. My revenge is now at Milford Haven. Would I had wings to follow it.
Thou bidst me to my loss, for true to thee were to prove false, which I will never be to him that is most true. To Milford go, and find not her whom thou pursuest. Flow, flow, you heavenly blessings on her. The fool's sped be crossed with slowness. Labor be his meed.
And now we finally introduce some folks you saw in an introduction and were wondering when they would show up. I give you a simple mountain cave in Wales wherein resides Belarius, a peaceful and noble fellow at one with nature, and his two sons, Guiderius and Arvagos, whom as a narrator I wish were named Bob and Jim, who are at one with nature most when they're hunting and eating it.
Ah, such a goodly day not to keep house with such whose roofs as low as ours. Stoop, boys. This gate instructs you how to adore the heavens and bows you to a morning's holy office. Hail, fair heaven.
Hail, heaven.
Hail, heaven.
Now, for our morning sport. Up to yon hill, your legs are young. I'll tread these flats. Oh, this life is nobler than attending for a check, richer than doing nothing for a bauble, prouder than wrestling in unpaid for silk.
Proof you speak. We poor unfledged have never winged from view of the nest, nor know not what heirs from home. Haply this life is best, if quiet life be best. Sweeter to you that have a sharper known, well corresponding with your stiff age. But unto us it is a cell of ignorance.
What should we speak of when we are as old as you? We have seen nothing. We are beastly, subtle as the fox for prey, like warlike as the wolf for what we eat.
Did you but know the city's usuries and felt them knowingly, the art of the court as hard to leave as keep, whose top to climb is certain falling, or the toil of the war, pain that only seems to seek out danger in the name of fame and honor. Oh, boys, this story the world may read in me. Cymbeline loved me, and when a soldier was the theme, my name was not far off. Then was I as a tree whose boughs did bend with fruit, but in one night a storm or robbery, call it what you will, shook down my mellow hangings, nay, my leaves, and left me bare to weather.
Uncertain favor.
Oh, now, my fault being nothing, as I have told you oft, but that two villains whose false oaths prevail before my perfect honor swore to Cymbeline I was confederate with the Romans. Oh, so followed my banishment, and this 20 years, this rock has been my world. But to the mountains, this is not hunter's language. He that strikes the venison first shall be the lord of the feast. Oh, how hard it is to hide the sparks of nature. These boys know little. They are sons to the king, nor Cymbeline dreams that they are alive. Oh, Cymbeline, heaven and my conscience knows thou didst unjustly banish me, whereon at 3 and 2 years old I stole these babes, thinking to bar thee of succession as thou reftest me of my lands. Oh, the game is roused. Now they think they are mine, and though trained up thus meanly in the cave wherein they bow, their thoughts do hit the roofs of palaces, and nature prompts them in simple and low things to prince it up much beyond the trick of others. The game is up.
While the three mountaineers hunted, a lost Imogen came by disguised as a boy, as best she could.
I see a man's life is a tedious one. I have tired myself, and for 2 nights together have made the ground my bed. Oh, Jove. I think foundations fly the wretched. But what's this? Here is a path to it. 'Tis some savage hold. I were best not to call. I dare not call. Who's here? If anything that civil, speak. If savage, take or lend. Oh? No answer? Then I'll enter. Best draw my sword. And if mine enemy but fear the sword like me, he'll scarcely look on it. Such a foe, good heavens.
Well, apparently, Shakespeare stole from the story of Goldilocks as well. A short while later...
Come, our stomachs will make what's homely savory. Weariness can snore upon the flint.
I'm thoroughly weary.
I'm weak with toil, yet strong in appetite.
There's cold meat in the cave. We'll browse on that, whilst what we have killed be cooked.
Oh, stay, come not in. But that it eats our victuals, I should think that here were a fairy.
What's the matter, sir?
Good masters, harm me not. Before I entered here, I called, and thought to have begged or bought what I have took. Good troth, I have stolen not, nor would not, though I had found gold strewed in the floor. Here's money for the meat.
Money, youth?
All gold and silver rather turned to dirt, as 'tis no better reckoned but of those who worship dirty gods.
I see you're angry. No, if you kill me for my fault, I should have died had I not made it.
Whither bound?
To Milford Haven.
What's your name?
My name? Fideli, sir.
Prithee, fair youth, think us no churls, nor measure our good minds by this rude place we live in. Well encountered. 'Tis almost night. You had better cheer ere you depart. Boys, bid him welcome.
I'll make it my comfort. He is a man. I'll love him as my brother.
Such a welcome as I'll give to him. After long absence, such as yours. Most welcome. Be sprightly, for you fall amongst friends.
Amongst friends? If brothers, would it have been so that they had been my father's sons, then had my prize been less, and so more equal ballasting to thee, Posthumus.
He rings in some distress.
Would I could free it.
Or I, whate'er it be. What pain it cost, what danger! Gods!
Great men that had no court bigger than this cave could not outpeer these twain. Pardon me, gods. I'd change my sex to be companion with them.
Boys, we'll go dress our hunt. Fair youth, come in. Discourse is heavy, fasting. When we have supped, we'll mannerly demand of thee thy story, as far as thou wilt speak it.
Pray, draw near.
The night to the owl and the morn to the lark, less welcome.
Thanks, brothers.
So, unknowingly, the three children of Cymbeline have found each other. Now, this is probably where we'd have an intermission and dine on Taylor Street ovens cookies and drink beverages from 2 Towns or Block 15. Instead, just remember to grab some next time you venture out, and we'll continue. Sometime later, in the same cave, poor Imogen is finding out that what counts as food for the mountaineers isn't so great for her stomach.
You are not well. Remain here in the cave. We'll come to you after hunting.
Brother, stay here. Are we not brothers?
So man and man should be, but clay and clay differs in dignity, whose dust is both alike. I am very sick.
Go you hunting. I'll abide with him.
So sick I am not, yet I am not well, but not so citizen as wanton as to seem to die ere sick. Your being by me cannot amend me. Society is no comfort to one not sociable.
I love thee. I have spoke it. How much the quantity, the weight as much as I do love my father.
If it be sin to say it, so I yoke me in my good brother's fault. I know not why I love this youth, and I have heard you say love's reasons without reason.
Brother, farewell.
I wish ye sport.
Your health. So please you, sir.
These are kind creatures. Gods, what lies I have heard. Our courtiers say all savage but at court. Experience, oh, thou disprovest report. I am sick still, heartsick. Pisanio, I'll now taste of thy drug.
Oh no, she's taking the drug. Everyone shout at the screen for her not to take it. No, don't do it.
No.
Oh well, she took it.
This youth, however distressed, appears he hath had good ancestors.
How angel-like he sings.
But his neat cookery, he cut our roots and characters and sauced our broths as Juno had been sick and he her dieter.
How nobly he yokes a smiling with a sigh, as if the sigh was that it was for not being such a smile, the smile mocking the sigh.
But I do note that grief and patience rooted in him both mingle their spurs together.
Come away. Soft! Who's there?
I cannot find those renegades. That villain hath mocked me. I am faint.
Those renegades? Means he not us? I partly know him. It is Clotton, the son of the queen. I fear some ambush.
He is but one. You and my brother search what companies are near. Pray you away. Let me alone with him.
Soft! What are you that fly me thus? Some villainous mountaineers? I have heard of such. What slave art thou?
A thing more slavish did I ne'er than answering a slave without a knock.
Thou art a robber, a lawbreaker, a villain. Yield thee, thief.
To who? To thee? What art thou? Have not I an arm as big as thee? A heart as big? The words, I grant, are bigger, for I wear not my dagger in my mouth. Say what thou art. Why should I yield to thee?
Thou villain baste, know'st me not by my clothes?
Nor not thy tailor, rascal. Who is thy grandfather? He made those clothes, which, as it seems, make thee.
Thou precious varlet, my tailor made them not.
Hence, then, and thank the man that gave them thee. Thou art some fool. I'm loath to beat thee.
Thou injurious thief, hear but my name, and tremble.
What's thy name?
Cloten, thou villain.
Cloten, thou double villain, be thy name. I cannot tremble at it. Were it toad or adder, spider, 'twould move me sooner.
To thy further fear, nay, to thy mere confusion, thou shalt know, I am son to the queen.
I'm sorry for it, not seeing so worthy as thy birth.
Art not afeard?
Those that I reference, those I fear. The wise, at fools I laugh, not fear them.
Die the death when I have slain thee with my proper hand. I'll follow those that even now fled hence, and on the gates of Ludstown set your heads. Yield, rustic mountaineer.
And so begins an amazingly well choreographed fight between Cloten with his rapier and fancy moves, and Guiderius with a stick, a hunting knife, and some dirty infighting. It would look sort of like this.
Ha! Ha! Cha! Cha! Ya! Ha! Da! Back!
Until they fight all the way off stage.
No companies abroad?
None in the world. You did mistake him, sure.
Oh, 'twas very Cloten.
Well, in this place we left them. I wish my brother would make good time with him.
This Cloten was a fool. An empty purse, there was no money in it. Not Hercules could have knocked out his brains, for he had none. Yet I not doing this, the fool had borne my head as I do his.
What hast thou done?
I am perfect what cut off one Cloten's head, son to the queen after his own report.
Oh, we are all undone.
Why, worthy father? What have we to lose but what he swore to take? What company did you discover abroad?
Oh, no single eye can we set eye on. But in all safe reason, he must have men here. On good ground we fear, if we do fear, this body hath a tale more perilous than the head.
Let ordinance come as the gods foresay. Howsoe'er, my brother hath done well.
With his own sword, which he did wave against my throat, I've taken his head from him, I've thrown it into the creek behind our rock, and led it to the sea. And tell the visions he's the queen's son, Cloten, that's all I'll reck.
Oh, I fear 'twill be revenged. Oh, would he had not done it. Although the valor becomes him well enough.
Oh, would I had done it, so the revenge alone pursued me. I envy much he has robbed me of this deed.
Well, and 'tis done. We'll hunt no more today, nor seek for danger where there's no profit. I prithee, to our rock. You and Fideli play the books. I'll stay until thy hasty brother Swift returns, and bring him to dinner presently.
Poor sick Fideli, I'll willingly to him to gain his colour. I'll let a perish of such Cloten's blood, and praise myself for charity.
Oh, thou goddess, thou divine nature, how thyself thou blazoned us in these two princely boys. Oh, they are as gentle as zephyrs blowing below the violet, not wagging his sweet head, nor yet as rough their royal blood and chafed as the rudest wind that by the top doth take down the mountain pine and make him stoop to the vale.
Where's my brother? I've sent Cloten's clodpole down the stream, in embassy to his mother, his body's hostage for his return.
Oh, look, here he comes.
The boy is dead. That we have made so much on. I had rather skipped from 16 years of age to 60 to have turned my leaping time into a crutch than to have seen this.
Oh, sweetest, fairest Lily, my brother swears thee not the one half so well as when thou grewest thyself.
Oh, melancholy, how found you him?
Oh, stark as you see, thus smiling as some fly hid tickled slumber, reposing on a cushion.
Why, he but sleeps. If he be gone, he'll make his grave a bed, with female fairies with his tomb be haunted, and worms will not come to thee.
With fairest flowers, while summer lasts, and I live here, Fideli, all sweet in thy sad grave.
Prithee, have done. And do not play in wench-like words with that which is so serious. Let us bury him, and not protract with admiration what is now due debt to the grave.
Great griefs, I see medicine the less, for Cloten is quite forgot. Now, he was a queen's son, boys, and though he came our enemy, remember, he was paid for that. Yet reverence that angel of the world doth make distinction of place between high and low. Our foe was princely, and though you took his life as being our foe, yet bury him as a prince.
And so, in a solemn ceremony, the body of Imogen is laid to rest on the earth, with small wildlife creatures gazing upon her and weeping. Then the incredibly realistic headless corpse of Cloten is placed next to it, very carefully, as the show only has the one, and if an actor breaks it, the prop master will make a second headless body out of that actor.
We have done our obsequies. Obsequies. Come, lay him down.
Come on, away, apart upon our knees. The ground that gave them first has them again. Their pleasures here are past, and so is their pain.
Yes, sir, to Milford Haven, which is the way. Oh, gods and goddesses. I hope I dream, for so I thought I was a cave keeper and cook to honest creatures. But 'tis not so. 'Twas but a bolt of nothing, shot at nothing. A headless man! The garments of Posthumus. Murder in heaven? How? He's gone. Pisanio. The drug he gave me, which he said was precious and cordial to me, have I not found it murderous to the senses? That confirms it home. This is Pisanio's deed, and Cloten's. Oh, give color to my pale cheek with thy blood, that we may the horror may seem to those which chance to find us. Oh, my lord, my lord.
As Imogen, still disguised as a boy, weeps over the body which is in the most extraordinary coincidence appears to be that of Posthumus, but was actually Cloten. And at this point, an entire Roman legion enters stage right. Not stage left, as that wing is smaller than the other one at the Majestic.
To them, the legions garrison in Gallia, after your will, have crossed the sea, attending you here at Milford Haven with your ships. They are in readiness.
What from Rome?
The Senate hath stirred up the confiners and gentlemen of Italy, most willing spirits, that promise noble service, and they come under the conduct of bold Iachimo.
Our hopes are fair. Command our present numbers be mustered. But behold, what trunk is here without his top? The ruin speaks that sometime it was a worthy building. How, young one? Inform us thy fortunes, for it seems they crave to be demanded. Who is this thou makest thy bloody pillow? Or who was he? What art thou?
I am nothing. Or if not, nothing to be were better. This was my master, a very valiant Briton, and a good, that here by mountaineers lies slain. Alas, there are no more such masters.
Lack, good youth, thou movest no less with thy complaining than thy master in bleeding. Say thy name, good friend.
Fideli, sir.
Wilt take thy chance with me? I will not say thou shalt be so well mastered, but be sure, no less beloved. The Roman emperor's letters, sent by a consul to me, should not sooner than thine own worth prefer thee. Go with me.
I'll follow, sir. But first, an it please the gods, I'll hide my master from the flies. And when I on it set a century of prayers, and leaving so his service, follow you, so you please entertain me.
Aye, good youth, and rather father thee than master thee. My friends, the boy hath taught us manly duties. Let us find out the prettiest daisied plot we can, and make him with our pikes and partisans a grave. Come, arm him. Boy, he is preferred by thee to us, and he shall be interred as soldiers can. Be cheerful, wipe thine eyes. Some falls happier to arise.
And so the Roman legion helps bury the body, which they do swiftly, as a legion has about 4,500 soldiers. Meanwhile, back in the palace of Cymbeline,
I had no letter from my master since I wrote him Imogen was slain. 'Tis strange. Nor hear I from my mistress, who did promise to yield me often tidings. Neither know I what is betid to Cloten, but remain perplexed in all. The heavens still must work, wherein I am false, I am honest, not true to be true. These present wars shall find I love my country, even to the note of the king, or I'll fail in him.
A fever with the absence of her son, a madness of which her life's in danger. Oh, heavens, how deeply you at once do touch me. Imogen, the great part of my comfort, gone, my queen upon a desperate bed, and in a time when fearful wars point at me, her son gone, so needful for this present. It strikes me past the hope of comfort.
Good my liege, your preparation can affront no less than what you hear of. Come, more, for more, you're ready. The want is but to put those powers into motion that long to move.
I thank you. Let's withdraw and meet the time as it seeks us. We fear not what can from Italy annoy us, but we grieve at chances here. Away.
All other doubts by time let them be cleared. Fortune brings in some boats that are not steered.
the armies start together, Britain on one side and Rome on the other. Really awesome, ominous public domain fighting music would probably start playing at this point. Between the two armies pop up some familiar faces.
The noise is round about us.
Let us from it.
What pleasure, sir, find we in life to lock it from action and adventure?
Nay, what hope have we in hiding us? This way the Romans must or for Brighton slay us, or receive us for barbarous and unnatural revolts during their use and slay us after.
Sons, we'll hire to the mountains, there secure us. To the king's party there's no going. Newness of Cloten's death may drive us to a render where we have lived, and so extorts from that which we have done, whose answer would be death drawn on with torture.
This is, sir, a doubt. In such a time nothing becoming you nor satisfying us.
Oh, then be so better to cease to be.
By this sun that shines all thither, what thing is it that I never did see a man die?
By heavens, I'll go. If you will bless me, sir, and give me leave, I'll take the better care.
So say I, amen.
No reason I, since of your lives you set so slight a valuation, should reserve my cracked one to more care. Have with you, boys. If in your country wars you chance to die, well, that is my bed too, lads, and there I'll lie. Oh, the time seems long. Their blood thinks scorn till it fly out and show them princes born.
No sooner has the old man and his two possibly psychopathic sons have departed than another familiar face appears.
Every good servant does not all commands. No bond, but to do just ones. Gods! If you should have taken vengeance on my fault, I never had lived to put on this. So had you saved the noble Imogen to repent and struck me, wretch, more with your vengeance. But alack, you snatched some hence for little faults. That's love. To have them fall no more. I am brought hither among the Italian gentry, and to fight against my lady's kingdom. 'Tis enough that, Britain, I have killed thy mistress. Peace, I'll give no wound to thee. Therefore, good heavens, hear patiently my purpose. I'll disrobe me of these Italian weeds, and suit myself, as does a Briton peasant. I'll fight against the part that I come with, and so I'll die for thee, Imogen, even for whom my life is every breath of death. And thus unknown, pitied, or hated, to the face of peril, myself I'll dedicate. Let me make men know more valor in me than my habits show. Gods, put the strength of the Leonati in me, to shame the guise of the world. I will begin the fashion less without and more within.
Then, to the sound of drums, pipes, and possibly electric guitars, the armies of the Roman Empire clash with the forces of Cymbeline. Every actor on stage has spent the past 2 years training in swordplay, tumbling, martial arts, and Greco-Roman wrestling, and have been equipped with enough fake blood to fill an Olympic pool. And so the battle would be something like this. Posthumus is seen throughout the battle trying to be killed honorably, and instead completely defeating every Roman soldier he faces. Then Iachimo appears, and not knowing who he faces, attempts to stab Posthumus from behind. But Leonatus spins around, and in a duel that would make Errol Flynn and Basil Rathbone look like Curly and Moe, our hero disarms Iachimo and throws him to the ground, then walks away from him in slow motion, as he's too pitiful to finish off.
The heaviness and guilt within my bosom takes off my manhood. I have belied a lady, the princess of this country, and the heir on it revengingly enfeebles me. This Carl, a very drudge of nature's, have subdued me in my profession. Knighthoods and honors, born as I wear mine, are titles but of scorn. If that thy gentry, Britain, go before this lout as he exceeds our lords, the odds is that we are scarce are men, and you are gods.
The battle rages on for roughly an hour and a half, until it is clear the Britons have won the day and the Romans have been slain, captured, or scared off. In the silence at the end of the battle, two figures meet, with their faces hidden by their helmets. They seem to be on opposite sides, though both men are too tired to continue any battle. They are, of course, Posthumus and Imogen, who don't actually meet here, but the script editor thought it would be cool, so let's see if he's right.
Camest thou from where they made the stand?
I did. Though it seems you come from the flyers.
I did.
No blame to you, sir, for all was lost. But that the heavens fought, the king himself of his wings destitute, the army broken. And but the bracks of Britain seen, all flying through a straight line, ditched and walled with turf, which gave advantage to an ancient soldier. An honest one, I warrant, who deserved so long a breeding as his white beard came to in doing this for our countries. Athwart the lane, he with two stripling lads, more like to run the country base than to commit such slaughter, made good the passage, cried to those that fled.
Stand! Stand! We have the advantage of the ground. The lane is guarded. Nothing routs us but the villainy of our fears. Stand! Stand and fight!
Are Britain's hearts flying, not our men?
To darkness, fleet souls that fly backwards, stand! Stand! Stand and fight!
These 3,000 confident and act as many, for 3 performers are the file when all the rest do nothing. With this word began a stop at the chaser, a retire, a none, a rout, confusion thick. Forthwith they fly chickens the way which they stooped eagles.
This was strange chance. An old man and 2 boys.
Nay, do not wonder at it. You made rather to wonder at the things you hear than to work any. Will you rhyme upon it, invented for a mockery? Here is one. 2 boys, an old man, twice a boy, a lane. Preserved to the Britons was the Romans' bane. Today, how many would have given their honors to have served their carcasses, took heel to do it, and yet died too? I, in mine own woe, charmed, could not find death where I did hear him groan, nor feel him when he struck. Well, I will find him, for being now a favor to the Briton. No more Britain.
Posthumus throws away his British helmet, grabs a Roman helmet from the field, and puts it on, all while somehow facing away from Imogen, so we can save their reunion for the last scene.
I have resumed again the part I came in. Fight I will no more, but yield me to the veriest hind that shall my shoulder touch. For me, my ransom's death. On either side I come to spend my breath.
Jupiter be praised! Lucius is taken. 'Tis thought the old man and his son were angels.
There was a 4th man, in a silly habit, that gave the affront with them.
So 'tis reported, but none of them can be found. Stand! Who's there?
A Roman.
Lay hands on him! A dog! A leg of Rome shall not return to tell what crows have pecked him here.
And so our true pairing of Posthumus and Imogen are captured, separated, and find themselves back in the castle of Cymbeline, in the darkest dungeon. One might say the inmost cave if we were making a movie about it. Posthumus is all alone, in despair, and very dramatically lit.
Most welcome bondage, for thou art a way, I think, to liberty. Death is the key to unbar these locks. Isn't it enough I am sorry? So children, temporal fathers do appease, gods are more full of mercy. Must I repent? I cannot do it any better than in the games. For Imogen's dear life, take mine, and thou 'tis not so dear, yet 'tis a life, you coined it. If you will take this audit, take this life, and cancel these cold bonds. Oh, Imogen. I'll speak to thee in silence.
So Posthumus sleeps. In the original play, he dreams of the spirits of his father and mother and his brothers, who all pray for his safety, and then of Jupiter descending in thunder and lightning from Olympus on a giant eagle to proclaim he will save him. You should really see it on stage sometimes. It's very impressive. Unfortunately, this was all cut out of the play, so the play wouldn't be 2 hours long. So just assume that it looked amazing, and we'll move on to the last scene in Cymbeline's throne room.
Stand by my side, you whom the gods have made preservers of my throne. Woe is my heart that the poor soldier that so richly fought, whose rags shamed gilded arms, cannot be found.
He hath been searched among the dead and the living, but no trace of him.
To my grief, I am the heir of this reward, which I will add to you, the liver, heart, and brain of Britain, by whom I grant she lives. Now bow your knees. Arise, my knights of the battle. I create you companions to a person, and will fit you with dignities becoming your estates. Oh, there's business in these faces. Why so sadly greet you our victory, Cornelius?
Hail, great king. To sour your happiness, I must report the queen is dead.
Who worse than a physician would this report become? How ended she?
With horror, madly dying, like her life, which, being cruel to the world, concluded most cruel to herself. What she confessed, I will report, so please you.
Prithee, say.
First, she confessed.
I never truly loved him. Only affected greatness got by him, not him. Married his royalty, his wife to his place, abhorred his person.
Your daughter, whom she bore in hand to love, with such integrity, she did confess.
She was a scorpion to my sight, whose life, that by her flight, prevented it. I had taken off my poison.
More, sir, and worse. She did confess.
I had for him a mortal mineral, which being took should by the minute feed on life, and lingering by inches waste him. In time I purposed, when I had fitted him with my craft, to work my son into the adoption of the crown.
Failing of her end by his strange absence, grew shameless, desperate, opened in despite of heaven and men her purposes, repented the evils she hatched were not effected, so, despairing, died.
Mine eyes were not in fault, for she was beautiful. Mine ears that heard her flattery, nor my heart that thought her like her seeming. It had been vicious to have mistrusted her. Oh, yet, oh, my daughter, that it was folly in me thou mayst say, and prove it in thy feeling. Heaven mend all.
The Roman prisoners are brought forth, including Caius Lucius, Iachimo, Posthumus, and Imogen.
Thou comest not, Caius, now for tribute that the Britons have raised out, though with the loss of many a bold one, whose kinsmen have made suit that their good souls may be appeased with slaughter of you their captives, which ourselves have granted. So think of your estate.
Consider, sir, the chance of war. The day was yours by accident. Had it gone with us, We should not, when the blood was cool, have threatened our prisoners with the sword. This one thing only I will entreat. My boy, a Briton born, let him be ransomed. Never master had a page so kind, so let his virtue join with my request, which I make bold, your highness, cannot deny he hath done no Briton harm, though he hath served a Roman. Save him, sir, and spare no blood beside.
I have surely seen him. His favor is familiar to me.
Boy, thou hast locked thyself into my grace and art mine own. I know not why wherefore to say, live, boy, ne'er thank thy master. Live, and ask of Cymbeline what boon thou wilt, fitting my bounty and thy state, I'll give it. Yea, though thou do demand a prisoner, the noblest ta'en.
I humbly thank your highness. I'll tell you, sir, in private, if you please to give me hearing.
And with a glare at the confused Iachimo, Imogen talks with her oblivious father.
Is not this boy revived from death?
One sand another no more resembles that sweet, rosy lad who died and was fideli. What think you?
The same dead thing alive.
It is my mistress. Since she is living, let time run on to good or bad.
Come, stand thou by our side, make thy demand aloud. Iachimo, give answer to this boy, and to do it freely.
My boon is that this gentleman may render of whom he had that ring.
What's that to him?
That diamond upon your finger, say, how came it yours?
Thou wilt torture me to leave unspoken that which to be spoke would torture thee.
How? Me?
I am glad to be constrained to utter that which torments me to conceal. By villainy I got this ring. 'Twas Leonatus' jewel, whom thou didst banish, and which may grieve thee, as it doth me. A nobler sir ne'er lived, twixt sky and ground. Wilt thou hear more, my lord? Upon a time, unhappy was the clock that struck the hour. 'Twas in Rome, accursed the mansion where 'twas at a feast. Oh, would our viands have been poisoned, or at least those which I heaved ahead.
Okay, Iachimo takes a very long time to say that he got the ring from Posthumus by lying to him about Imogen. But as he gets to the end of describing how angry Posthumus was...
Ah! Methinks I see him now.
Aye, so thou dost egregious murder. Anything that's due to all villains past and being to come. Oh, give me a cord, a knife, or poison, some upright justicer. I am Posthumus, that killed thy daughter. Villain like I lie, that caused a lesser villain than myself, a sacrilegious thief, to do it. Every villain be called Posthumus Leonatus, and be villainy less than 'twas. Oh, Imogen! Oh, my queen, my wife, my life! Oh, Imogen!
Peace, my lord! Here!
How comes he staggers on me?
Oh, if this be so, the gods do mean to strike me to death with mortal joy!
How fares my mistress?
Oh, get thee from my sight! Thou gavest me poison! Dangerous fellow, hence! Breathe not where princes are.
Oh, the tune of Imogen!
Lady, the gods throw stones of sulfur on me if that box I gave you was not thought by me a precious thing. I had it from the queen.
New matter still?
It poisoned me.
Oh, gods. I left out one thing which the queen confessed.
And then Cornelius takes a very long time to tell us that he replaced the poison with a drug that makes people appear dead and then wake up, which is another plot device that Shakespeare apparently really likes to use.
Have you ta'en of it?
Most like I did, for I was dead.
Oh, my boys, there was our error.
This is sure Fideli.
What? Makest thou me a dullard in this act? Wilt thou not speak to me?
Your blessing, sir.
Oh, my tears that fall prove holy water on thee. Imogen, thy mother's dead.
I am sorry for it, my lord.
Oh, she was not. And long of her it was that we meet here so strangely. But her son is gone, and know not how nor where.
My lord, now fears from me, I'll speak troth. Lord Cloten, can we skip through this too?
All right.
Okay. Yada, yada, yada. What became of him further? I know not.
Let me end the story. I slew him there.
Marry, he was a prince.
A most incivil one. The wrongs he did me were nothing prince-like, for he did provoke me with language that would make me spurn the sea. If it could so roar to me, I cut off head, and am right glad he is not standing here to tell this tale of mine.
That headless man I thought had been my lord.
Bind the offenders and take them from our presence.
Stay, Sir King. These boys are better than a band of Clotons. They are the issue of your loins, my liege, and blood of your begetting.
How? My issue?
And so Belarius takes a great deal of time revealing that his two sons are actually the long-lost princes and sons of Cymbeline, which makes Imogen their sister. And we're almost done, folks.
A mother to the birth of 3. Never mother rejoiced deliverance more. Oh, Imogen, thou hast lost by this a kingdom.
No, my lord. I have got 2 worlds by it. Oh, my gentle brothers, have we thus met? Oh, never say hereafter, but I am truest speaker. You called me brother when I was but your sister. You, brothers, when you were so indeed.
Did you e'er meet?
I, my good lord.
And at first meeting loved, continued so until we thought he died.
Oh, by the queen's dram she swallowed.
All are joyed. Save these bonds. Let them be joyful too, for they shall taste our comfort.
My good master, I will yet do you service.
Happy be you.
The forlorn soldier that so nobly fought, he would have well become this place and grace the thankings of a king.
I am, sir, that soldier that did accompany these 3 in poor Bissimi. 'Twas a fitment for the purpose that I then followed, that I was he. Speak, Iachimo. I had you down and might have made you finish.
And I am down again. But now my heavy conscience sinks my knee, as then your force did. Take that life, beseech you, which I so often owe. But your ring first. And here, the bracelet of the truest princess that ever swore her faith.
Hail not to me. The power that I have on you is to spare you, the malice towards you to forgive you. Live and deal with others better.
Nobly doomed. We learn our freeness of a son-in-law. Pardons the word to all.
Oh, Posthumus, why did you throw your wedded lady from you? Think that you were upon a rock, and now throw me again.
Hang there like a fruit, my soul, till the tree die.
My peace we will begin. And Caius Lucius, although the victor, we submit to Caesar and to the Roman Empire, promising to pay our wonted tribute, from the which we were dissuaded by our wicked queen. And in the temple of great Jupiter our peace we'll ratify, seal it with feasts. Set on there, never was a war did cease, ere bloody hands were washed with such a peace.
Then there's a dance, or maybe just a curtain call, and the audience cheers and throws money at the stage, and everybody hugs everyone else. The end.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you... We can turn off the music now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching William Shakespeare's Cymbeline, here presented by Majesticpiece Theatre, starring Angelique de Morgan as Cymbeline, Brian Tye as Posthumus, Brennan McCulloch as Imogen, Rachel Kohler as Pisanio, Jeanette Miller as the Evil Queen, Andrew Freeborg as Cloten, Brandon Urie as Iachimo, Pat Perdue as Philario, Kathleen Hockman-Wirt as Belarius, Eliane Smith as Guiderius, Galen Sinclair as Arviragus, Hannah Carter as Caius Lucius, Amy Edwards as Cornelius, Michael Wren as the narrator, and of course, Nancy Homan as the understudy for all actors, with Chad Howard as our Zoom host. Next week on Majesticpiece Theatre, Berlin Meets Gershwin, a musical review showcasing some amazing singing talent, directed by Timothy John Kelly II. And then on May 9th, a Portland original, Derek VII, directed by Johanna Spencer. Keep an eye out for audition dates. Thank you for joining us. And remember, we are majestic.